Hey guys, so it is December 21st, 2021. Christmas is in just a few days. I just had the sudden urge to go visit Iraq for Christmas. You know, see the parents.
These are my parents, my mom and my dad. In 2017, my parents moved to Iraq. And every time I tell someone that, I get the same two questions. So what, are your parents part of the military? In which I respond, no, my parents are not in the military. They moved there on their own. Wait, what? So are your parents just a little crazy? To which my response is, yeah, maybe a little.
So check this out. This is the price for a last-minute flight from Rome to northern Iraq.
Although the catch is that the flight route is absolutely absurd. So to get to where my parents live in time for Christmas, I have to fly from Rome to Athens, spend a day in Athens, then fly to Istanbul, spend 2 days in Istanbul, then fly to Erbil. And then finally from Erbil, I'll take a 3-hour car ride to my parents' house. So Christmas is in just a few days. I'm about to embark on a 3-day journey to Iraq. I have a feeling that this is going to be a wild ride. Let's go to Iraq.
And just like that, I am off. I'm headed to Iraq. I'm excited for my Iraqi Christmas.
The first leg of my journey hasn't even started yet. I'm already nervous. I'm gonna miss my flight.
I'm not gonna miss the flight, okay?
I am so late. I'm so late.
Testing the limits of punctuality, my specialty. All right, flight number 1, here we go.
Good morning from Athens. I slept 2 hours. Athens, I would appreciate you a lot more if I had some more energy.
Flight number 2.
All right, so I'm in Istanbul. All I want to do is sleep.
Okay, going to bed. Good night.
Okay, headed back to the airport. Here I go.
So I somehow lost my passport in security. I am going to miss my flight.
When is your flight?
I missed it already, so
You missed it already.
this doesn't make any sense. They found my passport in the trash.
I'm gonna have to try this again tomorrow. Ugh, good night. This was not supposed to happen. Alright, so I'm on my way to the airport once again. My flight was rebooked for today.
Whoa.
Flight number 3. I did it.
Well, I did it.
I'm in Iraq. The last 3 days, man, crazy. But I made it. I'm in Iraq. It's Christmas Eve. My parents are on their way to pick me up from the airport. I haven't seen them in so long. I'm excited.
Here they are.
I don't see my parents very often. I mean, it is quite the journey to get to them. But I'm realizing I want to start seeing them more because they're my parents. And along with them being my parents, they live in a pretty cool place.
Alright, so this is my parents' house.
This is where they call home.
This is it. This is their house.
Nephews and all. There's me!
My parents are the administrators and teachers of the best English school in the city. I mean, maybe I'm biased, but I think it's the best. There was a need of new administration in 2016, and my parents heard about it, sold their house in Wisconsin, and moved here a short year later. I mean, they've always kind of bounced around the idea of leaving the US once the kids were out of the house, but I have to admit, I don't think anyone expected Iraq. I mean, the rep that Western media gives this place, it's no surprise how my parents' decision to move was met with some degree of general confusion. But as I've said in the past, my parents' city is absolutely not what you'd expect when you think of Iraq.
I don't want to go into details about how safe this place is because, to be honest, I don't know the specifics. But based on how I feel, I don't feel at risk. I don't feel threatened. There's not a high level of crime at all here in this city compared to a lot of other cities.
In fact, I feel safer here than in Los Angeles. But that's kind of besides the point.
All right, so this is it. This is the English school that my parents run/teach at, and obviously due to the holidays, school is not currently in session. So imagine this room completely filled with adults with the desire to learn English and communicate. And imagine all these tables filled with people. That's how it is.
The work that my parents are doing here is paying off.
How many students do you have now at the school?
Well, this last term, I think we were just over 60 that had registered for classes, which is about 50% higher than it was last year.
Another question that people often have for me when they hear that my parents moved to Iraq, did they do it for the money? So their school is an NGO, which means it's a non-governmental organization.
We're not related to the government. We're not subsidized by the government. We're freestanding.
So in other words, my parents are not doing this for the money. They are extremely passionate about this school and the students that attend.
All right, but the coolest part about this English school, I'll show you. Ready? Going down, going down, going down.
Hello.
In fact, they're so passionate about this school that they physically live at the school itself.
To them, the Life Center is kind of like family, kind of like home, and I think part of that is the fact that we live here too.
Maybe it's easy for me to say, I mean, adventure and culture are passions of mine, but I think it's really cool that they moved here. It's not a very conventional thing, and I applaud them for it.
What?
Recording?
Even though it's a totally different continent with a completely different feel, they're my same parents.
Well, it's Christmas Eve. Tomorrow's Christmas. I don't think I've been with family on Christmas in, I think, 4 or maybe 5 years. I'm either by myself usually or with a couple friends. So to actually physically be with family on Christmas Eve is a great feeling. It really, truly feels great. So, good night. It's Christmas.
Merry Christmas! Here we go. Memories?
You know, I think when my parents sold my childhood home in Wisconsin, I was left kind of feeling like I had lost my home and my identity in that home. And you know, as I left LA this year and set out for the world, I've been struck with this mini crisis about what I consider home. I've been cool with this idea of being like a nomad and the identity that comes along with being a nomad. I don't need to necessarily have a home. The world can be my home. But nothing beats that feeling of being in a familiar place with people you love, with people that you know, and feeling safe.
And I guess the final question, do you feel like this is your home now?
Yeah, definitely. When we're back in America, even, we talk about when we come back home.
And that's referring to here. When we
Yeah.
say let's go home,
Right.
it's
I think Iraq is the closest to me to a home on this entire planet. And what a privilege is that? What a privilege. It's nice. The fact that I grew up in the Midwest with a primarily white American town where I never had access to outside cultures and outside perspectives. The fact that now as an adult, I feel at home most in Iraq, in the Middle East, in a completely different culture, a completely different part of the world, the region. What a privilege that is, truthfully. So in Sulaymaniyah, whenever you come up to the mountain, it's tradition to build a snowman and put it at the front of your car, just to show everyone that you were indeed at the top of the mountain.
Yay! Good enough?
I feel privileged, honored, blessed, everything to have the opportunity to consider northern Iraq and Kurdistan my home. Merry Christmas.
That was not good.